Alright guys, we're back again with another video, and this video is going to be more for all Wrath of the Lich King content. We're going to go and we're going to show you just exactly how to progress through Wrath of the Lich King content once you hit level 80. And not even when you just hit level 80, like you could start before you're 80. You could actually start progressing and getting your gear and getting set up for raiding at level 78. So here we are at Icecrown Citadel, right here. We're looking at it from the front. You may be wondering, people told you Paz, what the hell does that stand for? Where is it even at? You're looking at this, you're trying to get in there, and then you see Icecrown Citadel. You're like, okay, there's like a battering ram. Okay, let me just go inside. This is the entrance to the Icecrown Citadel raid. I will show you exactly what this is and how it looks before I show you Paz, but this is the entrance to Icecrown Citadel. This is the last raid of Wrath of the Lich King content before Hallion's release and pre-Cataclysm. So this is Icecrown Citadel. This is the beginning of it. Now, obviously, I am not geared enough to do any of this, especially on 25 man. But I am just merely showing you guys what's going on. This is the quest for Shadow's Edge, which leads up to Shadowmourne, the legendary weapon. And you need 25 Primordial Saronite, and then you need the 2 bloods from the bosses. It's a really long quest line. You can get this ring. Oh, no, not that ring. It's this ring. You can get this ring, which this one takes more effort because it's more rep. But you get the Ashen Verdict rep. This is reputation with Icecrown Citadel. You can simply get rep from this by killing these mobs, like trash enemies, just by killing them. This is like 25 man, but on the 10 man it's a lot easier. And then you get the quest. You could change it or you can continue and progress. So you take a look. There's the 4 different rings. I'm gonna go slower. So this is the first ring that you should focus on getting with Icecrown Citadel rep farming. If you have any of the professions, you can get all the recipes and stuff right here. You just go through here, take a look at all of these, and most of these are some really good items. So you're just gonna go through those, buy what you need, buy the Primordial Saronite off the auction house if you have to, and get the recipes and then make the items that you need, or ask a friend to, but you can always get scammed, so you don't want to do that if you don't trust them. So this is Icecrown Citadel, the raid. I'm about to show you where the Forge of Souls, which leads to the first quest line, which is inside, where you'll meet Sylvanas, and you'll go throughout the Forge of Souls killing things and killing the bosses to fulfill the quests. Then you'll go to the Pit of Saron, which there's a portal at the end of Forge of Souls that leads into it, or you can just go in from the outside over here. And then you can go into the Halls of Reflection, which is the dungeon in the middle. So on the left side we have the Forge of Souls, right side we have the Pit of Saron, and in the middle we have the Halls of Reflection. These are all completely different dungeons, and they're all acronym. So you have FOS, which is Forge of Souls, is simply FOS, Pit of Saron, POS, and then Halls of Reflection, HOR, HOR. So we're going to go inside, and I'm going to show you the dungeon. Here you're going to talk to Sylvanas. You're going to get your quest here. You're going to be like, oh my god, what happened, blah blah blah, and then she's going to give you this. You're going to kill these guys. I could probably solo the dungeon myself with the gear I have. But that's the Forge of Souls. You can enter at level 78, and then once you kill the boss and do the quest, you get a lot of experience, some decent gold, and you get some decent experience from doing these dungeons. But more so, you get good loot. I level 219 loot, which is better than Next Ramus. So the lowest geared item I have. This is from talk that's just Trial of the Crusader. I have mostly Icecrown Citadel raid gear, but this right here is from these dungeons on Heroic. So you'll get I level 219, which you can see in the middle is item level 232. So this is the Heroic version. Dungeons don't give uh Heroic version statements as items do. So you can get some bind on equips from Icecrown Citadel, dungeons and stuff like this is a decent bind on equip for Death Knight's damage. And some PvP gear also holds pretty good value. Okay, so you right here. This is from Trial of the Crusader Heroic. It's also the same level as Forge of Souls and Pit of Saron, so you can start getting your gear like this at level 78 while you go through these dungeons. Halls of Reflection is a lot more difficult, so I recommend not doing that. You can get the PvP trinkets, which can just be like slot holders until you get better trinkets, because it's only like 33,000 honor, and when you're level 80 and you're using like trash trinkets, these are better off just giving you those stats that you need. But when you get a trinket like uh, this is pretty much the same as from Trial of the Crusader farming. So you can do Trial of the Crusader on normal, not heroic. Normal mode, you just continuously do that dungeon over and over and over, and you'll get the following trinkets. Uh, it's like Mirror of Truth or something that it's called for this trinket, but it's a different name, exact same stats. The Black Heart, this is the tanking trinket. This is an amazing trinket. You get 7,000 armor when it procs. It comes off a cooldown and immediately goes on cooldown. So it's like every 40 seconds it's up for 10 seconds. So it's amazing. And then it also gives a base of 126 stamina. So don't get Ix Thumb, which only gives 2% dodge rating. This is much better. Then the Glyph of Indomitability. On Lordaeron, on this server in particular, this is one of the best trinkets because armor is invaluable. The bosses hit you for an insane amount of damage, and so the 1800 armor that this gives is very useful. Plus the 512 dodge rating every 2 minutes is not that bad either. Gives a lot of dodge. That's it. So now that you do this on normal mode and you have all your 219 gear, you're ready to leave. You come back, change it to heroic. You come back in. And you see Ick. Ick is the same boss. He has 600,000 health on normal, 900,000 on heroic. He's not that hard, but not that difficult. I will be making tutorial videos on doing these dungeons with groups, pre-made groups that are like level 78, level 80 with really horrible gear, so you can understand how to do the dungeons without having a completely over-geared 5,500 gear score Death Knight. Like, in the gear I have right now, I could probably like kill a level 85 Cataclysm person with crappy gear, of course, but like this is like some really good gear, and it only gets better from here once you get like 25-man heroic Icecrown Citadel. But this is decent gear. So that's how you do that. I'll be making a video to kill the bosses and progress through the dungeons. But you start through here. I even have a typing guide that shows the game progression. After you go through Icecrown Citadel for 219 and then 232, you can go to the Emblem of Triumph vendors in Delaran. I'll show you right now. And that gives you item level 245 gear. I also have some raid level gear from other raids prior to my Icecrown Citadel gear that I never threw away, so I'll show you what that looks like. So I still have some of the Emblem of Triumph gear. So after this, you have item level 245 gear and tier 9 gear right here. So I still use this ring, as you can see on the right side. It's a pretty decent ring. The armor is very good on Lordaeron. There are some other rings that give better stats, but because of the necessity for armor, I need this ring. Then I'm also using these shoulders for tanking. You can see the other shoulders. They're also really good for all your specs and classes. Let me see what else. There's trinkets. These trinkets are pretty bad. The intellect isn't useful. You need to do Trial of the Crusader on normal. It's a dungeon. You need to go over to Trial of the Crusader to do it because you're never going to find anybody in the regular dungeon finder because it requires level 80. And once you hit level 80, most of the people start to do pre-made groups or heroic dungeons. But you just go to this one, as it's a normal one, and you just join that, or you go to the dungeon and start spamming global that you want to do that. After you get your trinkets, some of these trinkets are useful. You can get hit rating or the armor. The other one, the intellect, isn't that great, but it's decent for like a holy paladin. It just depends. You need to ask the players around you for whatever spec, unless there's a specific guide that you'd like I can make, but I can't sum up every single class in one video. There's also the headpieces. These are great. I'm using this one. Actually, I'm not. I'm using the Indexia one. This is actually a little bit better. But this headpiece gives a lot of expertise, which is very useful. Then you have your PvP gear. You do not want to buy this. Well, wait. This is still the headpiece. This is the PvP gear. This is not the class tier 9 gear that you are looking for. This is the PvP gear. Do not fall into this trap. I repeat, don't fall into this trap. So that's the tier 9 gear. This is the frost gear. Some of this gear is pretty good. Like you'll want in like slower servers like this, you'll want to like buy the cloak, which is amazing. You'll want to buy the belt for tanking and so on. Some of this stuff is really good. But most of the time, when you get your Emblems of Frost and Emblems of Triumph, I mean, obviously the 245 gear is pretty decent, but depending on what class you're playing, you're going to want to go to your class vendor. There's the Threads of Fate. This is the blacksmith shop. Everybody knows about that. So I'm going to show you the cloth shop where you find your class set of items. This is the Threads of Fate. You can find your class tier items here. This guy right here. Obviously, I'm not a cloth wearer. I'm not going to have any. But for mages, priests, all that, it's over here. You can find it. He sells all the tier 9, tier 10 stuff. And for blacksmiths, or not blacksmith, but plate wearers, I'm not sure for mail wearers, but I believe plate wearers and mail wearers will come here. And Horus will give you access to all the tier 9 and tier 10 items. Like this, I'm still using these, I believe. No, these are the tank ones. I'm still trying to get these in Vault of Archivon from Taravon, because Taravon gives you the pants and the gloves. So you could do that for the pants and the gloves and then buy the rest with Frost, Emblems of Frost, to save a whole lot of Frosties and spend less time grinding. And tier 9 items like these are this is a tier 9 item. It'll give you a set bonus depending on what it is, and that's why the tier 9 items are usually considered the best for Icecrown Citadel. When you do Trial of the Crusader on 25 man, 10 man heroic, 25 man, and then 25 man heroic, you can upgrade your tier 9 items all the way up to about like 200 item level 258, but that takes a lot of effort. So you just buy your tier 9 items, and then you buy your item level 245 gear, and then you want to use your Emblems of Frost to buy whatever gear you need from your tier 10 set. Like this, I already have 2 pieces. This is an amazing chest piece, the best in slot piece you can get for a Death Knight tank. So I already have 2 pieces. I get 20% more damage on my Death and Decay. Once I get 4 pieces, once I get those gloves from Vault of Archivon, and then I get my 4th piece from this vendor, I will get my 4-piece set, and then I'll have Blood Tap giving me 12% damage reduction from all the attacks. So that's tier 9 and tier 10 items. You're going to need to know about that. You know how to get your trinkets from trinket farming and Trial of the Crusader. You know about your rings and weapons and stuff. Now I'm going to show you some raid content gear from Onyxia. I'll show you on the map real quick the location of Onyxia. It's going to be in Duskwalla Marsh in Kalimador. It's going to be over here at Onyxia's lair, and it says the Wormbrog. It's going to be all the way over here in this little hut right here. It's a remade raid for Wrath of the Lich King content. It gives item level 245 gear, which is really great. On a server outside of War Main Lordaeron, where bosses are not buffed significantly, you can use Onyxia's tanking trinket. This one right here gives 15% fire resistance, a lot of parry, 108 parry, 69 defense rating, and 101 health per 5 seconds. It's not a great active thing for the health per second, so that isn't that notable, but the 70 defense rating is pretty decent. That's a lot of stamina. Well, once you trade off defense rating for stamina via gems and stuff, it's some good stats. So those 2 stats are really great on a regular server. I'd recommend using this over the glyph in most cases, not over the Black Heart. But because of the server we're on, we need less RNG and more just straight up stats. So I use the other one. Then you have the Reinforced Shadow Strike. The other item from this is actually better for tanking, but this is a pretty good 2-handed DPS weapon. You get this from Onyxia 25 man. Most people won't need it, so if you're having troubles getting items from Icecrown Citadel in 10 man or 25 man, or you can't get in there yet, you can always do Onyxia. And once you get Onyxia done, you can get through it, and you can easily get some really good items. Like this one, and then even the ring is the best in slot ring for Death Knights, but I still have not gotten it. It's a pain in the ass to get because the drop rate is like 7%, and it's once a week. So, yeah, it's going to take a little while. I have tier 9 shoulders that I've replaced. Then I have that tanking helmet I swapped off. And you can buy some Saronite sword breakers as a tank. These are some pretty decent wrists. Really great until you get Icecrown Citadel gear. You can get the Emblems of Conquest. Some items and gears pieces you might not be able to find. That's okay, because you can say fuck RNG and just find them at the vendors. So I'll show you real quick. If you're having bad luck with heroics and stuff, you can just buy this stuff from the Emblems of Conquest vendor. This is the vendor when Ulduar was the up-to-date raid right here. So yeah, it's only 19 emblems, which you can downgrade. And the tanking one is right here. So each of these are 19. They're decent necklaces. Slightly underneath the necklaces from Halls of Reflection, Forge of Souls and stuff. So I recommend getting these. The gloves are great. They're 224 or 226. And I don't recommend downgrading underneath that unless you're getting heirloom gear. So to bring it back up for game progression, you're going to go Forge of Souls, Pit of Saron, Halls of Reflection, then Heroics, and EOT gear. And then you got Tier 9, the 232 gear I showed you. Trial of the Crusader, 10-man, you can get 232 gear. You can get some pretty decent badass gear from Trial of the Crusader 10-man. And Heroic, which Heroic just gives an upgraded version of it. Like some trinkets and stuff, but it's not that great. But once you get the Trial of the Crusader 25-man and then Heroic 25-man, well, it's called Trial of the Grand Crusader, but regardless, the gear from the 25-man is amazing. And then the Juggernaut trinket for Horde side, the Juggernaut trinket from Trial of Crusader 25-man is actually amazing. And although I have been doing a 10-man, I have been doing 10-man Heroic, and then 10-man normal Icecrown Citadel and Trial of the Crusader, I've been pretty much having trouble getting a 25-man going. So I have not gotten that piece of gear yet. But I have gotten the Icecrown Citadel 10-man gear. I've gotten a 25-man gear, but I haven't got the best gears. So I'll just show you what the gear is, the item. But the armor is better than the actual stats this ring gives me. It's the Juggernaut band from Icecrown Citadel 10-man, or 25-man. This is a pretty decent ring. Almost better than everything on my ring finger thing. But what sucks is I need that 560 armor more than I need the parry rating. The one socket would give a decent amount of stamina, 30 stamina from a gem. So overall it'd be a better ring, but the server requires more armor. Then that's 25-man gear. I also have 10-man gear. Most of my gear is 10-man because I have not gotten a whole guild full of 25-man, but it's okay. This is a Nixia still. This right here is 25-man from the loot ship. This is tier 10. You want tier 10 gear pieces. Still tier 10. This is the tier 9 tank gloves. This is the buy none equip blacksmith boots I was talking about at the beginning of the video. When you use your 1 primordial serenite, you buy it off the auction house, then you make the item. This is it. It's still really good. This is the tank necklace from Lady Death Whisperer, which is the second boss in the Icecrown Citadel raid. This is from Sarfang. These are some really amazing wrists. This is also from Sarfang. This is a really great weapon for Death Knights. And then this is crap. But these are the trinkets. So you're going to use gear from all over to get the stats that you need. And you can try your best to do whatever. But on regular servers, once you understand the tactics of the Icecrown Citadel raid, which I've already posted up videos for the raid on my channel, the bugging of Mirrodin doesn't work on every server, but on this server it does. But outside of that, most of the other bosses are pretty simple. The tactics are there. I explain them. I'll be explaining them further in depth on higher difficulties and stuff. Like when I get to 25 man and then 10 man heroic for Lady Death Whisperer, I'll post a video for that, but I haven't got to it. So far, this is how far I've gotten, and this is how I progressed. After that, you could do Ruby Sanctum on most servers. The server, it's not harder, but it's still a pretty difficult raid for people that don't know what they're doing. I've been trying to do Ruby Sanctum, but I don't have enough time to do the raids, so that's why I don't have the 258 gear from Ruby Sanctum. But it's actually higher level than Icecrown Citadel. So after Icecrown Citadel, you'll do Ruby Sanctum, then Icecrown Citadel 25 man. You'll be in between both raids because they drop really good gear. But to get the best gear, if you can't get a 25 man raid going for Icecrown Citadel on your guild or whatever, you can always join 10 man heroic, and then you'll get 264 gear, the same gear here though. And then to get better gear than this, you'll have to do 25 man heroic, which is very, very difficult. And then to get better gear than 25 man heroic from the server, the best in slot gear is Ruby Sanctum 25 man heroic, and that's also incredibly difficult, but that's the best in slot gear. Also for Icecrown Citadel 25 man heroic, that's also where you'll get more of the best in slot gear, but that's literally the end of all Wrath of the Lich King content before Cataclysm comes into play. And so there you have it. So you're gonna do exactly how this I'm gonna whisper myself. Exactly how this says. You're gonna do Fazpaz Horde, then you're gonna go to Heroic. You're gonna get your Emblems of Triumph, your tier 9. You can skip some of this on regular servers where people can boost you a little bit. You can get TOC 25 normal gear. Normally on regular servers, you can go from Emblem of Triumph gear and Heroic gear straight to Icecrown Citadel 10 man. And then after you get this gear, you can join a 25 man. And then after 25 man, you just start working your way from 25 man gear to 25 man heroic and 10 man. And there you have it. That's the entire rundown. You can also you can ask some really high gear score people. I soloed Forge of Souls for people at 6,000 gear score on other servers. It's pretty easy to do everything once you have like the best possible gear. You can get boosted pretty well and easy, as farming gold is more of a pain in the ass than someone helping another person out. So if you pay someone to boost you, they probably won't mind doing it. But once you get to like the higher end rating part, like even 25 man heroic, nobody's killed the Lich King on this server except for like a very, very old guild before the bosses were buffed. So on regular servers, 25 man heroic is very, very, very difficult. And on this server, I don't even know if it's possible, but that's how you do the entire raid content and everything for Icecrown, or not Icecrown Citadel, Wrath of the Lich King content. And that's it. That's the rundown. You can like, subscribe, comment. I would really appreciate some feedback also to elaborate more on the raffle and giveaway that I'm doing. I'm gonna be giving away 50 gold for every comment that is in response to the actual content that I have on the channel. So if you're like, alright, so what do you do during Marigar, this, that, or I didn't know about Muradin, it's cool, you could jump to the side or something, and you make a comment like that, then you post your in-game name, then I'll send you 50 gold in-game, when I get some time, but I will do it. And then if you have a friend who referred you to the channel, like this guy right here, Valnard, if you type Vianard or whatever the hell this guy's name is into your thing and say, hey, this guy referred me to the channel, I'll give him 25 gold and you 50 gold. And then I'll enter your name into into a raffle, a list of people for a raffle for 1,000 gold. And once there's a decent amount of people in the list for the gold raffle, I will do a random number generator, and depending on which one I use, if it's a 1 to 100, it'll be like I'll divide by 10. That'll be fine. But I'll try to find a 1 to 10 or however many people there are in the raffle, and I'll just raffle it off. And the person who it lands on or whose number it's closest to, that person will get the 1,000 gold. And then I'll keep doing this throughout the lifetime of this channel. So stick around for more giveaways and for more content. If you enjoy the actual channel and you have friends that are learning from this, then I really appreciate the feedback that you have, and I also appreciate the referrals, and I hope they appreciate the content that I have too, because I just want to be helpful and show off how to play Wrath of the Lich King content. There's also on this server you're gonna run across a whole lot of people who have 50-inch dicks, and they're mutated monsters that tell you that they're the best and that you're shit and you're retarded. Just ignore those people. You get them in global chat all the time. They're usually the people who have trouble finding friends in the game and have trouble finding people that want to help them out and work with them. And they're also ashamed that they can't do certain content or some stuff is too difficult, and instead of like accepting that they're having trouble, they're just gonna push it on you. But that's alright. You just gotta move past it, and you wanna figure out what you need to improve on, and you wanna actually improve, so don't get upset about it if you don't know what you're doing. Just try to work through it. But yeah, don't give in to that. And I'll see you all in the next video. I appreciate you guys. Have a blessed day. And don't forget to smile.